What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Talkin Football podcast. This is episode 5, I believe. This is weekly news recap number 2. We're going to go over what the biggest news in football over the last week. And yeah, that's basically it. Let's roll the intro. All right, so let's get right into the news while we're at it. We're going to start with news surrounding Jordan Addison. Early last week, he was arrested on suspicion of DUI. This is his second time that this has happened. He did it before the beginning of last season. Now he's doing it now. This is especially surprising considering that his teammate Kyrie Jackson just died. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why Jordan Addison thought this was a good idea, but I don't know. After he got arrested, he posted a picture of himself drinking. I'm not trying to stir the pot. I'm just saying, don't really understand his thought process there when it comes to that. So, have I heard anything about potential discipline for Jordan Addison? I have not. Have I heard that the Vikings may cut him? No. Have you heard that they may trade him? No. But there is a wide receiver trade market that's starting to brew, and I'll be talking about that near the end of this video with Brandon Ayuk and Devontae Adams. So just keep an eye on this. I don't think it's going to play a role into him making the roster or not because he's pretty much a lock. But I would definitely keep an eye on this because this is just not right. When a teammate dies, you shouldn't, because of a DUI, you shouldn't get a DUI. It's just not right. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know what's going to, but I guess we'll see when roster cutdowns happen. Speaking of roster cutdowns, here you go. A.J. Dillon and Kadarius Toney are both on the roster bubble for their respective teams, the Packers and the Chiefs. Kadarius Toney's not really surprising as he is basically the nicest way. He's kind of a nut, if that makes sense. He's always talking, and as a Giants fan, I don't appreciate him because when he talks, he's talking about the Giants usually, and he got traded because of his own actions. Sorry. That's a side note. Anyways, Tony's in a relatively, I wouldn't say a loaded receiver room, but it's a full receiver room. I think that's the best way for me to put it. You have guys like Rashee Rice. You have Hollywood Brown they just signed. Justin Watson has been playing well. Sky Moore. Those are guys that are definitely going to make the team or are more likely to than a guy like Kadarius Toney. Toney was plagued with the drop issue last year. We saw 2 major drops in the first week, and that kind of just set the tone for his entire season. So that doesn't surprise me. A.J. Dillon, though, does. I don't know why there's even I think he's a definite Packer, but I guess they're going a different way. I thought that Jacobs and Dillon would be a good one, too, but apparently not. So I would expect that Dillon might get traded because there's a lot of teams with running back issues right now, or could use a guy like A.J. Dillon at in the end zone, or at the goal line rather. He's definitely someone that a lot of teams can use him more like a David Montgomery role where he doesn't get a ton of touches, but when he does, he makes them count. That wouldn't surprise me to see that happen. So Dillon, I'm a little bit more surprised about to see in this news than Kadarius Toney. I'm not really surprised about Toney. Of course he's going to be on the bubble. That just makes sense. Eddie Jackson signed a 1-year deal with the Baltimore Ravens this week. He joins a very solid secondary with Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Williams, just to name a few players there. Baltimore's building a good team. They really are. They know what they're doing. This is a team that made the AFC Championship last year, and they were close to potentially going to the Super Bowl. All they needed was a Zay Flowers non-fumble, and they probably would have had a better chance, obviously, of winning that game. This is a good team, all right? This team's ready to make noise. They have made noise. They have proven that they can win in the playoffs. Now it's just winning the bigger games in the playoffs. I know Eddie Jackson's a great player. I've always appreciated how he played the game. He's a great safety. Um, he is a little bit older now, but he is still. I still think he's a quality safety. Um, so I'm curious to see how that kind of plays out there. They also have. Um, oh my god, I'm blanking on the safety name right now. Kyle Hamilton, that's who I'm thinking of, who's phenomenal. So again, they have a very, very good safety room there. So this is only going to boost their defense here. This Baltimore team. I'm going to be posting predictions on my Instagram soon. I don't know when, but you guys will figure that out. When I post the schedule, it says, "Oh, predictions," obviously. Um, but Baltimore is definitely going to be one of my better teams. If they are really, really good. They know what they're doing. They know how what they need, and they know how they're going to win. And I like that, because as a team, as a fan of a team that's not very good, it's nice to see a team that's run very, very efficiently and well. Bill Belichick aiming for a 2025 return. So he wants to come back to coaching. He's going to take a year off and then come back. Now, this is the NFL, and this is a head coaching gig. He does not want to be a coordinator based on what I know. I don't think he wants to, at least. So it was rumored that he wanted to be a Falcon, or that there was heavy interest there, and the Falcons went in a different direction. Why? I'm not sure, but we'll see. It was rumored that Robert Kraft told Arthur Blank, don't hire this guy, but it is what it is. Anyways, Belichick wants to return for 2025. So where are the potential openings that we can see him in? I think the Bears actually, off the top of my head, that's like the best option. Matt Eberflus, in my opinion, has 1 year with this team. If he can't win with them, then they need someone new. And I think Belichick's the perfect guy. Chicago, known for defense, known for that pound the rock game. That's what they have. I mean, obviously, the receiver room is much, much better than what it has been in previous years. But I think the Bears would make sense for Belichick. Considering their defensive histories, both Belichick and the Bears. So I would definitely look out for this. I don't know if he'll even get a job because of how poorly the Patriots played after Brady left. So I would not expect Belichick to come back after one season, but just make sure he's a candidate. That could happen. Now, we'll see how this changes because he has multiple different roles. I believe he's going to be on. He was on Pat McAfee's show during the draft. He signed a deal. I don't know if he's going to be on College Game Day, but he's going to be, I think, something in college football and then something on NFL Network, if I'm not mistaken. So he's going to go more into media, which is a significant difference than what Belichick has been doing the last couple of years. Obviously, he's been coaching. So we'll see if he likes it. Then we might not see him coach again. We had three noteworthy retirements from the NFL this past week, starting with Shaq Barrett. So Shaq Barrett signed with the Dolphins this offseason after being let go by the Bucs, and he just decided to retire. He said that he wanted to focus more on family, and I respect that. You got to do what you got to do to maintain that. That's definitely important there. I remember when he went off. I want to say it was like 18 sacks with the Bucs, and that was like a big breakout. And then he got paid after that, and he was still good. There's nothing again. Shaq Barrett's. I still think he's a high quality player. I mean, if he wants to come back, I'm sure there's going to be tons of interest for him in the market. But yeah, Shaq Barrett retires. He had a very respectable career. He was a threat with the Bucs. So it's unfortunate to see him retire, but again, family, you got to do what you got to do. Kenyon Drake also retired. The reasons why, I'm not totally sure. Same thing with Randall Cobb, and I'll get to him in a second. Kenyon Drake played with multiple teams in his career. I believe last seen with the Ravens, if I remember right. He started with the Dolphins, then went to Arizona, then ended with the Ravens in 2022. And he was always a good back. He famous for the Miami Miracle against the Patriots back in 2017 or 18. I want to say. I'm pretty sure it was one of those 2 years. I don't remember. Still a wild, wacky play, and it's crazy to think because Rob Gronkowski was a safety on that play, which is kind of funny to think about how Belichick would put him out there. But yeah, Kenyon Drake, that'll always be that iconic play for him. His career highlight is definitely the Miami Miracle. And again, respectable career. He was always great with the Dolphins. If I remember right, he was very solid with the Cardinals. And I remember when he went to Baltimore and he played the Giants in MetLife Stadium. I think it was week 6. That's in 2 years ago when the Giants made the playoffs. He tore them up. He had over 100 total yards. He was good. He's good back, really good player. Always a reliable option for his offenses. Speaking of reliable option, more specifically for Aaron Rodgers, is Randall Cobb. He retired this past week. He was a Packer for forever, then went to the Texans for I think a year or two, and then went back to Green Bay. And then he went to the Jets, I'm pretty sure, but I don't think the Jets ever used him because the Jets don't know how to use anybody. Respectfully, of course. Wink, wink. I remember in a family who has 3 Viking fans, I know Randall Cobb quite well. He is a pain. He was always open, or even if he wasn't, he still was. Great possession catch guy. I mean, it's like playing Madden. You just hit A over and over again if you're playing Xbox. I'm an Xbox guy. Side note. But yeah, Randall Cobb. I mean, he just knows how to get open. He knows where Aaron Rodgers wants the ball. He just knows how to play the game. He just knows. So again, my respects to these 3 guys for very, very, very solid careers for each one of them. Next on our list is Broncos guard Quinn Meinerz signs a 4-year deal worth $80 million. When I saw this, I was caught off guard a little bit. I'll be honest. I remember when he got drafted, the biggest thing was his beer belly. He was a big guy. Not like big, but he was like big. And I think he went to an FCS school. I want to say one of the Dakota states. I'm not sure which one. I think it was North Dakota State, if I remember right. And I remember the NFL Network talked about him a lot, and they said that he was a good player. And I still think he's solid. I'll be, maybe I'm a casual, but I'll be honest. When I saw this extension, I was a little taken off by it. I was like, and I looked at the comments, and people are saying, if you say this is a steal or this is a really good contract for him. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I looked at his tape. It's a good contract. He's a great blocker. He's been good in Denver for the last couple of years. So, and this is the market now. You have solid guards making $20 million a year. So, and again, the salary cap just keeps going up. So these types of players, they're going to be making 25, 30 million before you know it. So, congrats to Quinn on that extension there for the Broncos. More offensive lineman news coming from New Orleans. Ryan Ramczyk is out for the season, unfortunately, and his career, and I hate to say this, his career may be over. He has a knee issue. He has a leg issue. I'm not totally sure what it is, but he has some kind of leg issue. There's a possibility that it may end his career, which is so unfortunate because I remember 2017 was the first year that I actually started scouting, and I knew that draft class inside and out. I just knew it. I knew what was going on. If I knew if you were a good player, if you weren't a good player. Um, Ryan Ramczyk, I knew he was going to be a good player, and he was, and he still is. I guess if he was playing, he is an all-pro tackle. He's been absolutely phenomenal with the Saints. Every single year he's a top 5 tackle, if not top 3. But now the game has changed. He's dealt with a lot of injuries the last couple of years, which is unfortunate because he is so dominant and he has been with the Saints. So it's unfortunate to see this type of thing. Obviously, I'm hoping that he can come back to the game uh, at some point, but I don't know yet. I mean, they're placing him on the PUP in July. That says a lot about where they think he's going to be. I don't know anything else, so I'll try and keep updating. But it's really a shame, because I mean, just the Giants play the Saints every couple of years, and every time they played, Ryan Ramczyk would just lock up our edge rushers every single time, and it was so annoying because he was so dominant. So obviously a shame that I'm hoping that he can come back, but we'll see. Again, I mean, pup list in July for a veteran means you're out for the year, so that kind of tells you what the Saints think about him right now. Let's get into some Davante Adams news, and then we'll talk about Brandon Ayuk in just a little bit. So, Adams, I believe this was on the Shannon Sharp podcast. He said, "I still want to play with Tom Brady." Brady is 46. He has a minority ownership or minority stake rather in with the Raiders. I guess he still could play, but I still think this is a wild headline that Davante Adams wants to play with Brady. He's 46. Let him enjoy retirement. He's going to be commentating this year with Fox. Like, he's not going to play football. I think it's funny. I mean, I've watched a couple episodes of the Receiver Show, and I know, and I've seen clips that Adams was fed up with Jimmy G, fed up with Aiden O'Connell. He wants good quarterback play, and he thinks he's going to get it from Brady, even though he's 46. I'm not saying that Brady doesn't have something left in the tank. I'm just saying his last year in Tampa kind of showed that it was, it's kind of over for Tom's playing career, unfortunately. But still, a really funny headline for me to read. So yeah, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but it could. More Davante Adams news. Wow, that's really small. The Jets tried to, and apparently they were very close to trading for Davante Adams before Josh McDaniels got fired last year, per multiple sources. Now, this is a wild thing. So this was weeks after Aaron Rodgers got hurt. So they're going to please Aaron Rodgers despite him being hurt. And I still think that's so funny. It's funny to me. It's not even the New York Jets. It's like Aaron Rodgers New York Jets. Like that's what they should rename their team to. They're not even they are owned by Rodgers. Everything is about Rodgers. And he's a Hall of Fame QB. He's the best QB your team has ever had, and I understand that, but you gotta put the brakes on a little bit. You gave him Lazard. He has Wilson. He has Brees. The tight end room there is good. Offensive line sucks, but the defense is good. So shouldn't you be focusing on the offensive line before you trade for Davante Adams and waste all of your capital on that? Makes no sense to me at all. I don't get it. I get why they would want to do it, but you have Garrett Wilson. You have guys that are good at being a receiver. You don't need Davante Adams, and I bet it's pricey. And the contract is big. I don't know. It does not make sense to me at all why they would want to do that. One more thing before we get to Brandon Ayuk. The CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper are among players to hold out because of their contract situation. So CeeDee Lamb, obviously, this is coming after Justin Jefferson reset the market, and we're still waiting on Jamar Chase. So if Chase resets the market, then CeeDee Lamb is going to reset the market again. This is a massive time for receivers. You need to cash in now. You don't want to wait to see, oh, let me see where the market is then. No, cash in now. CeeDee Lamb, he's probably going to base his contract off of Jefferson's. So if Jefferson's making 35 with, I think it was 110 of the 140 guaranteed, I would highly suspect that that CeeDee Lamb's going to want to beat that by more than 100K, which is what St. Brown did with Tyreek Hill. When St. Brown signed his new deal, he was making 30.1 compared to Tyreek's 30. CeeDee Lamb's going to want to make 2, 3, 4, even maybe even 5 million more than Jefferson, which is 37 plus. At least in my opinion, I feel like he'd want that much. So that's a massive market reset. Now, Amari Cooper is a little bit different. He's been great with the Browns, and I've said this before, and I've said it again. Cooper's a good receiver. He knows how to play. He's always reliable. He's good at everything. Now, is he going to get 35? No way he gets that much. I would say no more than 28, in my opinion. I'd say like a 3 years for 28 million. Off the top of my head, that would be, I think, 84 million a year, or 84 for the entire contract, which is still a good deal, I think, for a guy like Amari Cooper. But again, this is how the contract situation is kind of. This is how it's kind of playing out. You know, it's interesting to see guys like Amari Cooper, who would not make this much just like a couple years ago. He's going to be making around 28 million based on my projections, which could be off, but we'll see, because Nico Collins is making 25 and Cooper's better than Nico Collins, so we that's kind of like the baseline for Amari Cooper. But yeah, again, and these contracts are going to play out into Brandon Ayuk. Ayuk requested a trade from San Francisco a couple of days ago, if I remember right. This is being recorded on Sunday. So, side note. So, the thing is with Brandon Ayuk, and if you guys watched the fantasy video that I posted, which got a lot of support, and I thank you guys for that. Brandon Ayuk, I'm not saying that he's not a good receiver. I think he's a little overrated. In my genuine opinion, he's had one really top tier year. One. I'm not saying the other years weren't good. I'm just saying the way he's playing now, he's not. I don't get why he's so. I don't know why he's being such a diva about it. I know, the Niners don't want me. They do. They don't want to pay you that much because they don't think that you're as good as you think you are, and that's the genuine truth. It sucks that I have to say it that way, but that's the truth. You're not as good. I mean, this is my opinion. I'm not saying that I'm not an Ayuk fan. I would love him. I think he's a great player. I think he's a bit overrated for where he is, and I don't know if a team's going to want to overpay for that. Now, later this week, I'm going to be recording. I'm going to upload an Ayuk destination video, like where could he go. So make sure you guys look out for that. As and that'll be uploaded on Wednesday. So I'm not going to talk about where could he go now. I'm going to wait until Wednesday. Contract wise, he could make around. He's probably going to get 30 plus. Now, is he going to get as much as Jefferson? No, he shouldn't. I can tell you that now. He shouldn't be getting as much as St. Brown. He shouldn't be getting as little as Nico Collins. He should be making, again, he's kind of around that 29, 30 million range. So again, if Ayuk's going to be making that much, Tyreek's going to want more. St. Brown's going to want more. Adams is going to want more. And then that just keeps going up and up and up. So we'll see how this whole situation plays out. I genuinely could not tell you how it's going to play out. That's something that I'm kind of curious to see. But yeah, I guess I'm pretty sure that's everything. Now, side note, I just remembered. So the Niners they have no plans to extend Ayuk, and they currently have no plans to trade Ayuk. I don't get why you wouldn't want to trade him now, because he would be really good for you guys. I don't get it. But I guess the Niners know what they're doing. John Lynch is a great GM, so we'll just see how it plays out. All right, that's where we're going to end the video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow the IG, follow the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, not follow, whatever. Be on the lookout for new posts. So I posted the schedule in my community on my community page on the channel. So if you want to know what I'm posting when, just look at that. Usually my Instagram posts are come out around noon, or I try to post them around then. So if you guys are curious about that, so yeah, that's that. And we're going to. I guess I'll see you guys on Wednesday.